Hey there, honey bunnies. Welcome to episode 45. Stop looking for your life purpose. This is Michelle Wolf, your host of the Sovereign Storytellers podcast, where we become sovereign in our storytelling and we don't tell ourselves crap stories anymore about life. I am recording on the fly today, so I'll apologize for any poor sound quality. Okay, so often people, so when somebody signs up for a clarity session with me, which is a 1 hour, hit the ground running, let's bust through your stuck places and develop a practical plan in an hour. And it can be done and pretty easily, actually, when you just open yourself up to going straight for it. But it's happened more than once that people are asking about, well, what's my purpose? What's my purpose in life? And what I'm going to say to you is your purpose in life is what you decide your purpose in life is. Generally, it shows up as the things you can't not do. Like if someone told you you could never write again, or you could never create crafts or art, or you could never crunch numbers again if you're a number cruncher. And you would be very upset about that. That's generally your life purpose. It's what you're drawn to. It's what you would do all day for free. But I don't believe that in general we show up here with one single thing that we're going to do. Now, the exceptions are those rare people who, as soon as they can identify, I knew what I wanted to do from the time I was 4 years old, and they're like single focused, single minded. Everything they do is related to this one thing. The young woman, Greta, oh my gosh, I can't remember her last name. I think I know her last name, but I'm not even going to say it in case I mess it up. But the queen of climate change, who, by the way, she may be 16 years old number wise, but that is no child. That is a warrior woman. She's young, but she's not a child. I'm seeing a lot of stuff like that's child abuse and her parents are using her like that. You're not looking at a child. Now that is a person, and I believe they're rare, who come in with a mission and they're on it from a very early age. For the rest of us schmucks, I think we come in and our mission is to explore. And exploration can look like, to other people, a lot of mistakes. Now, if you've had your human design reading, if you have a 5, if you have a 3, if you have a 6, a lot of your stuff is going to be bumbling around out in the world, trying this, trying that, doing a lot of experiential things that, like I said, other people may judge it and say, well, but you spent all that money on this, but you said you were going to do that. And it's like, no, I experienced that. I'm done. I'm off to experience something else. And our judgments about that way of moving through the world can really hold us back. Aside from human design, and of course I highly recommend you get your human design reading because it's going to save you a whole lot of time. Even if all you ever do is the foundations reading, which gives you your type, strategy, and authority and tells you how to use it. Like, I'm not just saying, here's what it is. Now let's apply it to some real circumstances in your life, and then let's make a plan for you to go out and try it. And that's on the website, of course. thatmichellewolf.com/human design. So anyway, when I see that question, it kind of makes my heart hurt a little bit. What's my purpose? Like, your purpose is to love. Your purpose is to feel joy. Your purpose is to live in your body and express your interests. Follow your interests and express those in the world. That's how I would sum it up. Esther Hicks, and when she's channeling Abraham, says your purpose is joy. Like everything we do is for the joy of doing it when we let ourselves have that. But we don't let ourselves have it, because of conditioning, because of stories. And we are too often not taking that position of sovereignty over our stories. I mean, the title of this in the course I've done for the last 3 years, Sovereign Storytellers, isn't just a name. For me, it's a mission. I want to be sovereign in my storytelling. So look for the life things, your life interests that you would do for free, or that if someone said you could never do that again, you would fight them tooth and nail on it. Like, I can't imagine not helping people somehow, even if all I could ever do is this podcast and just share ideas with you. I couldn't not do it. And I don't make any money off the podcast. I don't have advertisers. It actually costs me money to produce this. I'm actually paying you. I'm actually paying to put, to put this out in the world. But I wouldn't. I can't stop doing it. I wouldn't stop doing it until someday I'm done with it. I don't know what that's going to be. But for now, if someone said, well, you're not allowed to podcast, I would fight them on that. If someone said you're not allowed to write, I would really fight them on it. If someone said you can't ever make people laugh again, I would throw down. I would be like, hey, all right, let's go bodies, because I'm not, no, you can't tell me I can't make people laugh. I'm funny, damn it. Part of one of the things in development for me is some sort of combination of comedy and coaching. A little Kyle Cease-ish, but Michelle Wolf style. So I want to give you some examples. So part of my coaching is, part of the way I coach is, I can see potentials for people. When someone gets on the phone with me and they're talking, I can see intuitively 5, 6, usually more like 3 or 4 very clear outcomes that they could pursue. All of them is just down to whatever they want to do. Like, we can't screw this up. If you screw it up, generally most mistakes are fixable. If it didn't kill you, you can go, do something different. Okay. So I can see, like, sometimes confusion comes from, there are those, let's just say 3 for purposes of discussion. Often there's more than that. But let's just say in your field of possibilities, there are 3 outcomes, all equal. The path to them, the experience of getting to them, the experience of the outcome, the theme is the same, the core energy of it is the same. But it really doesn't matter. It's just pick a path and go. And you might get diverted onto a 7th path, who knows? But you have to pick one and go. You have to make the decision to start the engine of the universe. Until you decide and you're flippy floppy, wiffle waffling back and forth, you can't, the engine doesn't start. That's the 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake pedal feeling of like, I'm stuck, I can't go anywhere. Well, take your foot off of one of those. Either put your foot on the brake or put your foot on the gas. Take your foot off one of those and you're going to feel a whole lot better. But so someone's on the phone with me, I can usually see 3 options, and I'll bring that to their attention. Like, okay, here's several different ways that you could go. Now, which one feels good in your body? I've been doing that for years, and now knowing human design, I know exactly why I've been doing that and why it's effective. It's rare that a person comes that has one. But I've had this woman I've been working with, and I could only see one thing for her. Whenever I would meditate, before somebody gets on the phone with me, I'm meditating on them. I'm opening myself to them, which is why I don't do free, ask a question calls, because too many times those free calls people don't show up, and I've spent all that time tuning into them, and then I'm pissed that they didn't show up. So you can call me now if you've looked at the website and you've listened to some podcast episodes and you want to work with me. You can call and we'll talk about working with me. But I don't do the free, the other kind anymore. Anyway, so tuning into this woman a long time ago, because she took classes over a year ago, and I could only see one pathway for her, and I never mentioned it. And then she signed up for a longer package, and I just said, I only see, this is what I see you doing. And I often am not at that direct either. I'll say, maybe this, maybe that, because I'm not here to give advice. I'm here to help you find your own answer. So I throw a lot of questions out. What about this? What about that? Tell me what you like doing as a kid. How would that look as an adult? And we just go all around and around until we land on the one thing that really lights the person up. So I could only see this one thing. So I told her. And often money is the first, problem, money or time. But here's the beauty. If you can stay in the question, if you can stay in the sense of possibility, if you can put away your dream smashing hammer, and if you want the link to I think it's like a 15-minute talk on dream smashing hammers. That's my term, don't steal it. I already stole it from a friend of mine years ago. Like 12 years ago. So I've already stolen it. So don't steal it from me. Anyway, dream smashing hammers. So that's the immediate objections, right? We have a dream and we're like, yeah, but here comes the dream smashing hammer. Pound, pound, pound. It's like the hammer of Thor, only bad. It smashes your dreams before you can even explore them. The beauty of this woman is she was like, money, time, but maybe. And we talked about options. Well, how about this? How about that? What about this? What about that? What can you commit to? Oh, I can make a phone call, or I can talk to this person immediately. And she did. She jumped all over it. And it immediately fell into place in the most beautiful way. Click, clickety, click, click. All the pieces went boom, 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 because she opened herself, like she said, yes, this is my heart's desire. This is what I've wanted for so long. And she was willing to say, I don't know how it's going to happen. By the way, One Command Money Group, got to sign up today if you want in on September. And the one command is, I don't know how, fill in the blank. I only know that it is so now, and I only know that it is so, and I am fulfilled. I tend to say now twice. I want it now. I don't know how. Okay, so she was willing. She's been in that money group for a while. I don't know how. Once we say, I want this, but I don't know how, or I don't know how to get here, but I really want this. I yearn for it. I pine for it. My body goes forward physically when I think about it. I want it, but I don't know how to get it, but I'm willing to explore options. If you can get yourself even to that far past your dream smashing hammer tendencies, and we all have them, everything opens up. And it might not open up within 72 hours like it did for her, but she was already, she was so on the peak. Like she already had her big healer initiation crisis, which people go through. It's like a massive upheaval in their life, a physical illness, a relationship exploding, getting fired from a job is often your big initiation into what you could call your life purpose. But if we're going to say that, let's say the life purpose for now. It's my purpose for today to work my little plant job to have, some consistent income and to keep building my coaching business. It's possible my coaching business may never pay the bills. It's possible that I will continue working with very small groups and the occasional one-on-one client. That's possible. I've accepted that. And I'm defining that as successful still, because I was sorely hooked on, if my business isn't making money, then it's not a business and it's not successful. Then I called bullshit on myself with the help of a lot of other people. It was like, no, if I've only helped one person, excuse me, with the throat thing, the ragweed is I've got some early blooms and it's fucking me up. If I only ever helped one person in my life, then that's successful. And I've helped hundreds. I was trying to think and just do a ballpark, and I might be in the thousands by now. Because my very first career was as an EMT helping people. Before that, I worked as a nurse's aide helping people. Before that, I was a kid trying to help everybody who would let me, being a pest. Okay, so anyway, this woman did not really invest in her dream smashing hammer. Now, she might have earlier in life, I don't know. But when we were talking about it, she was like, there was like some initial stickiness, but then it was like, no, I really want this and I don't know how to get it, but let me see what happens. That is a beautiful way to open the door to miracles for you to find out and discover what your life purpose is for today. And again, I think I don't believe in that concept, but if it serves you, at least think about it as a temporary mission. I actually prefer the word mission, because mission changes. The stuff out there that we're sold about purpose, you got to find your purpose. Come by my class and I'll help you find it. And buy my book and I'll help you find your purpose. As if you can't find it yourself. As if you aren't already doing it somewhere in your life. Somewhere in your life, you are already doing your mission, your purpose. You're already doing it somewhere. You're probably not being paid for it if you're looking for it. So you're coaching people, or you're giving people advice, or you're fixing people's cars for free, or you're dreaming of design, clothes or houses or whatever. You're doing it somewhere. So really, let me give you an exercise. Make a list of everything that you love. So let's just formalize what I already said. Take a piece of paper, make a list of everything that you love doing, every little thing. I like to play softball. I crochet. I write books. I actually don't like to play softball, so I'm just using I in the global sense. I like to repair cars. I like to hammer things together. I like to help people straighten out their money. I love making spreadsheets. I love taking care of cats. I love taking care of horses. Like, write down the things. I love this. I love that. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy hiking. And if you enjoy hiking, then you should really insert commercial here. Hold on. You should get certified in Forest Reiki so that you can take people on healing experiences out into the woods. Or if they can't reach the forest, you can help them connect to it energetically. End commercial. Okay, so you know what I mean? Like, make a list of everything that you love. Now go down that list and ask yourself how many times a day or a week you do that activity. Because if you think you love hiking but you never go hiking, then you don't really love hiking. If you think you love, if you think you love reading but you haven't read a book in 6 months, you don't really love reading. You might enjoy it, and maybe you used to love it, but it's not it's not the primary focus of your life right now. Okay? Now, go down that list and ask yourself, when did that start? What did that start in childhood? Have you always done that? and then go through and say, somebody just told me that I can never go hiking again. How willing am I to go bodies over it? How willing am I to pick up a real hammer and fight for my right to hike? You gotta fight for your right to crochet. You know what I mean? Like, you'd really be like, no, you can't tell me I can't do that. That's the components of your purpose. That's the components of your mission. Now, the form that takes is going to be different. You know, I actually did a lot of writing as a social worker. I wrote court reports. I wrote investigation reports. I wrote lots of things. It wasn't the writing I wanted to do. But looking back, it's like, no, even in that job, I was spending an inordinate amount of time writing. And now I write books. Insert commercial here. Confetti is available on Amazon in print or Kindle. Confetti's my latest book of poetry. Poetry's not everyone's cup of tea, but there you go. End commercial. Okay, so it's just I'm just dazzled by how when and then I had a session on Wednesday, same thing. All it took was the person to all he had to do was make a decision that yes, he wanted it, and yes, he was going to take action on it. And bada bing, bada boom, stuff starts falling into place. Energy starts moving. He had tears in his eyes, and he got off the phone, and he had a plan to take action that very day. The minute you decide, the minute you drop your dream smashing hammer on the ground and you knock off the objections and the mind, bark, bark, woof, woof. When you knock all that off, put your hammer down and say, okay, I want it and I'm going to go for it. And I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know how it's going to come to me or how I'm going to create it. I don't know what the path to it is going to look like, but I'm going to let myself have the joy of having it right now in my energy. Even before it's materialized, every time I think about it, I'm going to feel excitement and joy and generative creativity. I'm going to let myself have the pleasure of that energy right now while I go take some action steps, while I keep asking questions. Hey, here's what I'm thinking about doing this. Who can you connect me to? Or, hey, I'm going to need a few supplies for this. Where can I find those supplies within my budget? Can someone give them to me? Can someone loan them to me? Too often we're using garbage like that to prevent us from making the decision. First of all, as long as you're swinging around that dream smashing hammer, you won't make the decision because you're too busy, hammering down on your creativity, your inspiration every time it pops up. Oh, I think I should start a landscaping business. Smash! Oh, I think I should write that. Smash! Like you won't even. I can't because I don't have any time. Oh my gosh. Elmore, who wrote Get Shorty. He wrote so many books that were all so amazing. Elmore Leonard? He wrote on a legal pad inside his desk drawer at the office. He wrote on legal pads on the train going back and forth to that shitty job. And he just kept a legal pad inside, like how, most desks don't have them anymore, but the center desk what am I talking about? The center drawer for pens. You pull that out. He would keep his notepad in there, pull it out, and be writing, hand fucking writing his books while he was at work so he could slam the door shut, if anybody came in. So it's there. Put your hammer down. Decide that you're going to at least explore the idea of it. If I can ever get people to just explore the idea of it, like, well, how many times have you asked? Well, I asked that one time and they said no, or I asked again 6 months later and they still said no. And I'm like, then go ask again and ask again and ask again. Put it on your calendar once every 2 weeks. Go ask again. They're either going to give it to you or they're going to be so annoyed with you that they fire you. And then you're going to be forced to make a decision to pursue what is calling you. Then you're not going to have your excuse of time. You're going to have to move your ass and do something different. Okay? Don't let it get that far. It doesn't have to get that dramatic. Really, all you have to do is get past that dream smashing hammer that it can't happen for you because it hasn't yet. Just because it hasn't yet doesn't mean it can't. I saw an article the other day. I guess article is probably out of date word, right? It was a blog post, whatever. I saw a headline on Facebook. I didn't bother to read the article, but it said 101-year-old woman publishes her first book of poems. Are you kidding me? You're going to tell me you can't write a book because you don't have time? Or you can't paint a painting because you're too busy slinging around your dream smashing hammer? Come on now. That's garbage. If a 101-year-old woman can publish her first book of poems, her first book, and Grandma Moses didn't start painting till she was like 80 frickin' something, you don't have any excuses. You really don't. If you think you do, book a clarity session, and I'm going to disabuse you of that idea that there really are things standing in your way. Yes, there might be things standing in your way. I am not going to get to be an astronaut with NASA. I used to say I'm not going to get into space because I didn't get to pursue a military career because I couldn't be whatever. That I wanted to be an astronaut. Let's just sum it up that way. So I used to say, well, I didn't make it there, so I'm never gonna make it into space. Well, even that's not true because everybody and their dog's trying to build a rocket to develop space travel for peons. Rocket ships for the rest of us. I need to contact Elon Musk and tell him, here's your tagline: rockets for the rest of us. Rocket ships for the rest of us. Do you think he'll listen to me? I don't think he will. Do you think if I pester him long enough, he'll give me a car just to shut me up and get me off his doorstep? Hey, that's a possibility. Hey, lady, can you just take a car and get the hell away from me? Okay, anyway, that's all I got for you. I have to go to work. I have to make some sweet moolah. Okay, coming up. Seriously, today's the last day. $33. Focus on money. It's never about the money, but that's where we start. And then people see breakthroughs and they get awarenesses. I don't make guarantees, but I almost am willing to make a guarantee on this one because it happens every month that people make a breakthrough. It's $33. It's not just like $1 a day. It's cheaper than my Starbucks habit. Anyway, if you want to sign up for that, find me on Facebook, facebook.com/that Michelle Wolf. You're going to see one image that tells you where to sign up, and then I'll add you to the Voxer. You have to have the Voxer app on your cell phone, and you have to send me your username. But that happens every month. So if you miss it, if you're listening to this podcast later and you want to sign up, that's fine. I'll just flip you over into October. No biggie. And the other thing is all kinds of human design available to you. Next Human Design Basics for Business class starts September 11th because I like to do good things on that day because it's kind of a rough day. So September 11th, 4 weeks. This is the last round at $179, which is redonkulous. And you get to go over your human design chart, the basics of it, and start applying it and then get coaching every week in a group. And let me tell you, this last week's coaching was amazing. I coached nearly everyone. Everyone got insight and energy moving. Everyone made, some people made a breakthrough. Like, it's awesome. It's so much fun. And it's $179. It's just some high value for a budget friendly price. Let's call it that. Okay. Website www.thatmichellewolf.com. Talk to you next week. Have yourself whatever kind of day you want to have. Think less, feel more. Bye bye for now.